What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. First off, Andy Ruiz was asked by Mexico if he would represent Mexico in the Olympic Games. Okay, and of course he said yes. However, Mauricio Sulaiman of the WBC said anyone, any professional that participates in the Olympic Games will be banned for 2 years. So, mind you, that's if Andy Ruiz beats Anthony Joshua. If he beats Anthony Joshua, there will be, and then he attends the 2020 Olympic Games, there would be no way that he could fight Deontay Wilder for undisputed or Tyson Fury for undisputed. Depends on who wins out of that fight. So, I think for Andy Ruiz, if he loses, the question would be, would Mexico still want him to represent them? Because a lot of people and sponsorships and, other platforms, they want you to do something contingent on what you've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? So, let's say if he gets beat by Joshua and he loses all the belts, well, would Mexico still want him as their representative? And the thing is, Olympics, you're only good as your sponsorships, So if the only reason I could see him doing it maybe is a favor or whatnot to participate in the Olympic Games, but then you're a professional, so why would you want to even do that? I know he wants to rep Mexico. He wants to be that iconic figure like Canelo, like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Barrera and, Morales and all those guys. But I think it's a certain way you go about doing it, That's just me counterpunching, my opinion. Sure, again, he's a good fighter, but I don't think he needs that unless he's looking for sponsorships, unless he wanted to get sponsorships I guess that he wanted when he was talking about Snickers and M&Ms and all that good stuff, And that's really up to your team and who can market you, and reach out to other places like that will sponsor you, But going by fighting Olympians, amateurs, that I don't think that's cool. You know what I mean? I never thought that was cool for them fighting, because that's for the people that just went pro, which he did not. He did all that song and dance a long time ago. So for him to ask, I know it's an honor again, for the Mexico, to represent Mexico, but first of all, if the WBC and he wants to be undisputed, he should forget about the Olympics. You know what I mean? Fighting amateurs and all that. Because he's in a totally different platform. It's two different sports. Okay, you wear headgear and things of that nature. The rules are different, and I think he's going backwards, honestly. It would be something you would do again for charity or as a favor, but he's way past that now. It doesn't even make sense. It's like someone that has a $200,000 or $300,000 a year job, but then wants to go back to college. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Why are you going back to college and you already have the job? So just to say, hey, I went to college and I attended this particular university. It makes no sense. But then again, Mr. Sulaiman, I would want Andy to try that just to see if Mauricio honors what he says, because I'm not really keen on the WBC and the things that they say, because they do things and they say things and they don't back up their words, like that Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder rematch. It was mandated, but then they changed it. Then they changed it again. Then they kept it open just for them to negotiate, which, what's the point of doing all that when it shows you either have no power? Leniency doesn't really, it doesn't equal power. It's limited power, and it's showing you really the lack of power if you think about it, because you're saying one thing, but you're not even put, well, the deadline. Oh, well, the deadline's changed. Oh, well, it changed again. No, by you being lenient, you're showing that you have no power. So if Andy Ruiz, if he decided, you know what, I'm gonna represent Mexico. I don't really care about the WBC belt, which would be stupid because he already said he wanted to be the first undisputed heavyweight Mexican champion of the world. But if he decided to honor the president that much, and he was that stubborn and bullheaded, and going and still takes that particular option, and Mauricio Suleiman doesn't do anything about it, we really know what the WBC means to boxing. We be crooks, we be crap, we be whatever, we be criticized, we be cunts. You know what I mean? Whatever, it's like you could say whatever you want to about the WBC at that point because they don't honor their own rules. So as far as Mauricio, he's put his foot down, but I want him to really put his foot down. So, but again, if Anthony loses, if Andy loses, it really won't be a discussion anyway. He can do what he want to do. You know what I mean? So it really won't matter, because at that point, I doubt that Deontay Wilder would want to fight him. What reason would he have to fight him? I would still want to see it if he does lose to Anthony Joshua. So a lot of people are not really looking at that in that aspect. They're looking at it as, oh, well, what if Anthony loses? But what if Andy loses? What does his future entail? Sure, he has a lot of money. He has enough money so he can live his life comfortably. But let's see, But I would like to see something done about that. But for as far as back to Andy Ruiz with the Olympics, I think that that's a terrible idea. I think he's way past that. I think he should have enough integrity not to even go that route, because he has other obligations. So he says that he wants to accomplish, and the goals that he's set out for, not because someone asks you to do something and it conflicts what you got going on currently. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Andy Ruiz and the WBC and the Olympic situation. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.